Hello friends. Now I would like to share one interesting topic each and every scholar should have a thought about it. Like wherever you are studying, like whatever the course, either master's or PhD, just think about this perspective or this idea and do let me know if there is a different solution about this perspective. This problem or this perspective for this particular topic, even I don't have proper suggestion or a solution, but I do have some observations which may be helpful in to the certain extent. So the topic is: are you finding a right research gap? Are we doing a impactful research? How do you able to justify that your problem you are working on is an impactful research problem? Or the way we are approaching to find out the research gap, is it the right way? Or what is the pros and cons? So there is some discussions we have come across in the recent days with our fellow members, and even in the past there is some more observations I would like to share upon here. So the first thing, so how traditionally we are going to have a literature review to find out the research gap? There are multiple ways, like go with the literature review and take some 15 years or 20 years papers, read the papers continuously and find out the gap, what how the area is progressing, what is the gaps in each paper, and what you can solve in that particular theme. That is one side. Okay. On the other side, some people are started even patents. They're studying the patents for understanding, and then they're looking the gaps or the problems in that particular problems they have worked on. So these two, which are kind of highly traditional method, everyone will follow, including me. We follow this one. Of course, it is necessary to know the knowledge in this particular field. What happened before we start the particular research? That's all right. Till there is no issue or no complaint about that. But let's say we are joining for PhD in the first year. Let's say we are starting a PhD in the first year, and then we are starting the literature survey about first year, mid, or in the same year after introduction to research. That is fine. So we started literature survey, and then we found out some gap at the end of the first year or second year based on the institute's norms. Like some institutes in Europe and other countries like Japan, it's a different story because they will start in the first semester itself. So I'm not comparing those things. When you start literature survey, when you understand these problems, it is very good. But just a cautious thought, like the papers will publish at least a few months after the submission, and the submission will take place after completing the observations by the researcher before few months. Like you need to write, you need to get it corrected with the advisor, so it will take certain duration, right? So basically I would like to rephrase it like approximately a 6 months to 8 months span will be there from the date of the research happened in the particular laboratory and the particular research group and the date it's published. So we are seeing the results after 1 year. That is good for understanding the theme and topics. But when we want to choose a research problem for your research or fellow members' research, how accurate, like how reliable can we go on with the same problem? So the problem is, okay, we chose this topic and we started working, and there is no issue, or like up to certain extent. But the another issue it may arise, like there may be similar people like you and me. We're studying at different locations in the globe, and we're working on the same problem. After 2 years of hard work, it found that we are working on the same problem. So of course, like there may be slight changes. So with slight changes, you may propose that, yeah, this is a different research, so I would like to submit my thesis. That is fine. But if you do like that, you may end up solving the existing problem, or you may end up solving a small problem in the continuation of the same research domain. But why can't we think about this finding about impactful research? Like how can we find out the best impactful research problems, or how can we find out the research problem of noble quality? How can we go ahead without wasting our time, so that we'll have good amount of time to work on a good problem and to get a best solution which can be possible in 3 years or 5 years. One thing is that I just compared this, how the literature goes, how far it is striking. Like we are taking the reference of 1 year background, 1 year back work, to the current research gap finding. So one suggestion or one thought I felt is that one perspective I have found is like, instead of not only focusing on literature gap from the papers alone, we can even see the projects floated across the universities by across the research groups. They may not disclose the accurate problem what they are going to solve, but connecting this way, with the latest openings, PhD or postdoc or the any other research position, they'll float the projects by keep on connecting these universities or these research groups, what they are working on through ResearchGate or whatever, or the mediums are there. Through those mediums, we'll get to know what they're working on. At least we could avoid this 1 year gap, and we may be a bit ahead of working in the latest problems, latest research. That's one solution. It may be an issue that how they are going to tackle, how the problem is going to be solved, we don't know. So it's still just a perspective. So it can't be complete solution, I could say, for this context what we are speaking. So the next one, so there is another perspective, like we keep on reading the papers, we won't stop the literature even after finding the research gap. That is advisable by research advisor. That is well and good, so that we'll get to know what they are working on. But there is another situation will come, like some research groups or some people, they'll not publish until the completion of the courses. They'll publish all the papers in one stretch in a year or 6 months gap. So that time we can't know what they're going to publish, how they're going to sort out. So that is also difficult to rely on completely. So these are like 2-3 perspectives I felt, like look at the research openings and research problems what they're working on, and find out the base concepts or the themes from the latest floated topics along with the literature survey. And then there is some exceptions. Recently I have shared some openings about PhD and masters. So the interesting observation I have found is that few institutes like Okinawa Institute of Science and Technology in Japan, and VAS TECH in Thailand, VISTEC. So these two, and also another institute, KUT Japan. So these are like a few numbers. I have seen and I have verified that the research is based on the predefined research problems from the university. It is well and good if you get such opportunities. There may be more institutes across the areas. If you get into such universities, it is highly welcome. You go and have a good research problem, you get it completed. That's fine. But they may not disclose complete research problem beforehand. But those people who are able to get into the particular institutes is well and good. And even those institutes like the top institutes in the globe, they may have cutting edge technologies. So whatever the problem you are working on, you'll be solving with the latest technology. So it will create an impact. So there is definitely an advantage in the top institutes also across the globe with the latest infrastructure. They are like exceptions, but I'm talking about remaining major chunk of people like across the countries, including India. Like many universities or many institutes, they follow these traditional methods, and they'll end up solving small research problems, and then they'll get the degree. So there is no issue about the PhD degree, or like you won't be having a trouble that you will not get PhD and all. You may still get the PhD degree, but we are working on like this from years, and now also we are going to continue the same way. Okay, let's keep on going like this. So people are the community will keep on habituated for this kind of things. So the cutting edge research are the latest innovation technologies based research for the future technologies. Who will solve, like how the foundation we can start in the research. So that is like it's the dragging, right? We are going ahead with the solving the problems and getting the degrees and small this okay. But other side, if you go after 100 years or 200 years, people may completely forget that how they will able to find out these cutting edge research problems, how we can solve these great problems and great solutions. Like the great solutions of the great problems will require sufficient amount of time, and the age we are studying the PhD or the postdoc or masters, that is kind of fast growing age, and will be very short, and we will have much patience and energy to solve. We can't expect solving the same problem at 40s and it will require 20 years of age, it may be. So we can't expect that one. It may not be that much reliable and that much relevant. It may not be that much relevant. This is my perspectives. Like if you have any other way, like how can we avoid this falling into the existing research and continuing our research in the same domain or the same problem? How can we avoid? Please comment on and let me know in the comment box. There is another ways like how we can avoid this getting into the same problem what other people are solving in the globe in some other institute. So research means you're competing with the entire science community. It's not like confined to one country or one region. Maybe that defense problems and military problems, they may be country specific, but not everything. So let us know. You're welcome to comment. Have a good day. Thank you.